June 8th, 2026. It is Monday, and I took so many trades today. This is an example of revenge trading. You don't want to do this. Don't follow my lead on this one. I did horribly today. We're going to go over some of the examples of what I did today, how I got through it, and we're going to go through them a little bit quickly just because there's so many. So let's get started. So at market open, well, pre-market open, I did take one trade. I took this trade, you'll see here shortly. It was not good. I didn't have any signals to take it off of. And so I was basing this off of just solely structure, right? Structure is not the only thing that should be telling me when to get in. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what I took. So you start to see the price move up above this small high volume node. It's starting to break up. And so here, as I saw this, I started to think that this was an opportunity to buy going up here. And so you'll see me get in here shortly, putting my stop below that high volume node so that it is protecting me from anything else. So let's take a look. I went in with 5 contracts to start the session. Again, at this time, I felt confident of the trade. A little bit above this, right? So my stop is right below that high volume node, as you see there. Let's go ahead and fast forward just a little bit here, but just you'll start to see that this is actually immediately as I got in, going against me here. So you can see it go against me here now, minus $200 with 5 contracts. Still going against me here, still minus $200 here, still going against me here. It hasn't pushed up. It hasn't had the opportunity to go up. So we're still waiting here. Now I am taking, again, this is a pre-market trade. I normally don't take these because if I lose, it throws me off for the day. And guess what? That's exactly what this did. I took this trade. This ended up being a loss, and it just completely threw my trade, it completely threw the rest of my session out of whack, right? So let's continue here. So price wanting to push, didn't push here. Start to see price start to push down further down. Continuing to push down here. Here it goes. About to take me out here. Hit my stop. Not moving my stop. Again, I want to make sure that I don't go above the $500 risk, because if I lose $1,000 or more than that, it does mess with me, right? So I want to make sure my stop losses are consistent, and that the only thing that I'm moving is my take profit. All right, and then that took me out minus $500, and so that was minus $500 to start the day. From here, I just waited until market opened. Again, from this very first trade, looking back at it, I think I was already on tilt after this day because I was looking for opportunities to try to make this back. It sucks. It really sucks having the day start red even before market opens, when all the opportunities start to show up. So let's continue, and you can see the rest of the trades that I took for the day. So now market opens, market's pushing up, looking to see that push up here. Here, I start to take a sell because I start to see some sellers come in. You start to see it on the chart. It consolidates a little bit, pushes down, and starts to consolidate a little bit more. Now, this was a good trade, right? I did see some aggressive sellers step in here. Not a lot, not a big cluster, but there were some. And so I took this trade with the trend continuation in mind. And so let's see how this goes. Now, as you can see, my stop is a little bit above the $500 mark. So I want to start to reduce that. I don't want to keep it that way. So I reduce it to 400 here, making sure we're not above the 500 threshold that we have. So far, so good. Price is moving in our direction. Now I'm thinking about going to break even here, because if it creates this high volume node here, this is a good opportunity for it to protect me. We're already $500 in. Gonna go ahead and try to see if we can set it at $500 for a continuation. That way we cover what we lost. So $500, I'm gonna let it go right there. And it's going to take me out shortly here in just a second. Let's see. It wants to push down, and there you go. It took me out. So now we're back to minus $5.90, not $509. So let's go ahead and continue to see what else I took on this trading day. So now price starts to push up here. It starts to go up and I start to think, okay, well now it consolidated at the top, pushed up, consolidated, pushed up, looking for a reversion, actually looking for it to trade back up because of how aggressive buyers are being here. However, I did not take into consideration, and again, what I did wrong here was, first of all, my platform was giving me issues trying to trade my other platform. So I wasn't able to look at that. Again, I was basing it off of the 2000 tick charts here. So I was looking at structure. So there was no official confirmations for me to get into this trade. And so when we look at the other chart, you'll see that I don't really have anything marked on there just because I wasn't able to really fully use it. I had to reset it, restart it. The screen goes black at some point. And so here what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get into the buy side. I do see buyers stepping in again, as I mentioned, and I want to get in as they break that high. If it's going to continue, it should break that high and continue. I'm getting in with my full size here. I would put my stop below whatever low it's making here. And so I see that it's starting to go down, so I remove it. There's no point in me having that order there. Even if it does come back and just touches it, it can come back right back down. So here we go. It is holding that high volume node. So far, it did break it, but it's still trying to hold at that low. So we're looking for it to continue going back up. If it goes back up, then that play that I had previously would have been a good play. And we're going to speed this up just a bit. You can see price just being very choppy here. It does break that high. It is going up higher here, and I would have had a good play there to trail and exit for that. I would have put my stop below that choppy area or near that choppy area, and then just have price continue here. But as you can see, price starts to come down, and so I start to think, okay, well, it sold off at the beginning. It looks like there's strong sellers still there, so let's go ahead and take a sell to the downside. Again, I didn't take into consideration that that whole little area was a complete consolidation, and another push to the upside was coming, as you will see here shortly. And so let's go ahead and go back. So right there, I get taken out for another $500 loss. So here we go, and it goes up really aggressively, takes me out, done. So now minus 512, back again, minus 500, now down to $5, back to minus 500. So here, again, I've already taken 3 trades. They haven't worked out like I wanted them to. One of them did, and it was able to recover. I could have stopped there, but I didn't stop there. In my mind, I had to make some profit. I needed to pass this combine, right? We were so close to passing it that it was just so far. All I needed was $200 to pass this combine. It wasn't that much. It wasn't a big ask, right? And so that's why I felt this impatience, this urgency to try to pass this. And so I was taking trades that weren't in my plan, and that was my mistake. And that's a lesson that we can take from this, that I've been taking trades for this session, that were not in my plan. And so let's continue to see what else you can learn from in this session. So here we go. I am taking another sell here to the bottom because I'm seeing participants start to sell, again, failing to take it up higher. So I'm trying to take this sell here. I want to see if it could go down below the low. You can see that I am now placing my take profit at $1,000. That is my way of trying to recover what I lost and also trying to make some extra profit. So again, at this point, I've already taken 3 trades. I'm already on tilt. I have lost, I've won, I've lost, right? And so I am not thinking straight. I am not using my plans or my playbook. I am just taking trades as I see structure form. And this, in the past, is what's caused me to fail these prop firm challenges, especially when you're going in with big size, because you will lose so much. You'd win, you'd lose, you'd win. But one loss, that's $2,000, wipes out the entire account. So that's why I'm trading with 5 micros instead of 1 mini. I don't have the size, I don't have the balance to trade 1 mini yet. So that's why I'm trading the micros. But as you can see here right now, price is going in my favor, which is great. Let's see how far it goes. We're going to speed this up just a bit so you can take a look. So price is still going in my favor. It looks like it wants to come down, but you see that low that it just broke and immediately started going up. So if it doesn't reject this here, then it's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to try to reach for the highs, and which it's doing now. So you see it consolidated right below. So somebody's holding it there, making sure that it doesn't go any further. People are buying there. And so price is going up against me, comes back down aggressively. There's a lot of chop. This entire session, this portion of the session, it was choppy. This was a choppy session to start at the beginning here, and then it finally found some buyers and price started going up. But during the session, obviously, while I'm in the session, I don't know this, and I'm starting to realize after taking so many trades, wow, this session is choppy. I'm starting to get frustrated. I already feel like I need to recover what I've lost. And so just not a good session overall. And it's something that you should pay attention to when you're trading. If you feel impatient, if you feel frustrated, just stop trading. You're going to make bad decisions. In this case, I made several bad decisions, maybe a few good ones, good trades, but overall, the decisions to take that pre-market trade was bad. I didn't wait. I wasn't patient. So let's continue. As we can see that I start to take off some of my position here as price goes against me, averaging out of my trade rather than averaging in. So that way I don't lose as much as price goes against me here. You can see price starting to reach that high there, about to take me out with $94, and it took me out, right? So price took me out. We're minus $730 now at this point. And now I'm really, really on tilt, right? I'm close to getting to $1,000 loss. Do I take another trade? Do I keep going? Maybe I can recover something. I can reduce it. I just need to find a good trade, a good opportunity. And so what do? I keep trading. I keep trading. And I don't know how I need to do better on this. And I've been trying, right? So there's moments where I do this and it just gets to me after the fact because I know I could have stopped and I know I should have stopped. But this is what I did. Again, the very first trade is what threw me off. I know that for a fact. Whenever I take things that are outside of what I'm planning, throws me off completely, right? Because it wasn't expected, right? It wasn't something that I was planning for. So that's why it's super important to have your plan. And so here we go. I took one trade again here with one contract. And so you see it immediately goes against me. It goes down or minus $80. The good thing is that I went in with one micro contract. I didn't go in with two. I didn't go in with three. I'm trying to gauge where price is going. I've lost so many times already. I'm just looking to see if price is willing to push in that direction. As price goes against me, though, I start to see that, no, it looks like it was going to come to the lows and sell it off. So I'm starting to consider taking this position off entirely and or adding to try to get it in. But that's still in the back of my mind yet. I haven't done that yet here. So, but I am considering taking off the position that I have here. So let's continue here as we see price move down against us 100. Again, this is the good thing about micro contracts. You can control your risk a lot better with wider stop losses, right? If you want to take $500 risk and you want to widen your stop loss, and if that's what you're taking, you can take smaller micros and then just widen that out. So it's 500. It'd be dynamic risking, right? So here we go, coming down to the lows. At this point, if it breaks those lows, there's no point in me holding it for it to reach down at to my stop loss, right? So you'll see as it goes down here, I'm going to take off, got rid of that trade. Not a good trade. Took it, and you know what? I bought it at the highs. Of course, I bought it at the highs. That happens, right? You get into a trade, you buy it at the highs, it immediately goes back against you. You see that triple top right there? So not a good trade. Let's continue as we continue to see what else I took here. So let's go back here. So I took another sell here, looking at price as price was trying to break down lower here. So you start to see it form a high volume node at the top, after that reversal that I went through, right? And then it pushed down further, made another high volume node and another push down. So that's why I have my stop right above that high volume node, because that is what is protecting me from it coming against me. I do have a couple of things in my favor in this trade, which is the EMAs are going the same direction as price, right? They're pointing to the downside. So I'm looking for a trade to come down here further for more coming down to the VWAP. And you'll see me put my stop right there, because if it goes against me again here, I just want to get my 1-to-1 risk to reward, cover it, done. So now we're at minus 438 with 74 cents. Right, so we recovered some of that profit. Again, this was an opportunity for me to stop trading. I had lost here at this point only a 1-to-1 risk, right? What I normally risk, minus $438. But do I stop? Do I stop? No, I don't stop. I don't stop. I keep trading, which is, again, looking back at this, I look at this and I'm like, what the hell was I trading? What was I doing? Why was I taking these trades? So let's continue as we see price go back up here for more. So I see price retrace just a bit, and then I do see price start to move back down. So I start to take a trade for the downside for continuation further. Now, I see that here. I go ahead and go to break even immediately because I don't want it to go against me. I really don't have much of an area to put my stop at unless it breaks that low, then go in again, which it's doing here. And I go in again, breaking that low, putting my stop above the high, and immediately I just take off because price was being so erratic. Price was being very, like, there was lack of liquidity, it seemed like. That's why price was moving so fast. And so I just wanted to quickly go to break even on that one. Again, I did recover a little bit more, minus 381 at this point, but this is what I do next, right? So let's take a look. Price starts to go up here, right? So I start to take a trade to the top, right? I want to take a trade to the top because it looks like price was holding this bottom, trying to go back up. There were some aggressive buyers pre-market, but that didn't come to fruition at the beginning of the trading session. So now I'm looking to see if this is gonna happen where price is gonna go up further for the rest of the session. Price eventually does, but it doesn't do it in this specific time. So you can see price go against me here as I got in, and it's coming against me. Now it should hold this high volume node at the bottom. Now you can notice that my stop placement is horrible. This is not a good stop placement. It's in the middle of price. It shouldn't be there. I don't want to risk more than 500, so I'm leaving it there. If I would have risked with less, I probably would have been able to put it lower. Again, I'm on tilt. I am not thinking clearly. I'm just trying to recover what I've lost at this point, and I can acknowledge that. And so that's why my stop placement is at 500. So now I try to put my take profit a little higher, trying to see if I can recover some of that. Now I have the option here to put my stop below that low, right where it pushed back up. If it comes back out, it'll take me out. It'll be less of a loss. Or if I see price push up further, I can go to break even like I did in the other trades. I don't want to take these little micro scalps just because they do take away from what I've lost so far, but it's not worth it. I'd rather just hold a good trade, and I'd rather just make sure that I'm managing my risk the way I should. You see it break this low here. It's about to take me out right here. No doubt about it, right? So price pushed up, failed. Now, again, if I would have had my stop placement in the correct area, I probably would have been saved in this situation. You see me, I had removed all the other contracts I had because price was going against me, about to take me out. That way I don't lose the full amount. I start exiting as price goes against me. And so now I'm left with one contract left, $100 to risk here. And you guessed it, it's gonna take me out here. There you go. And it took me out. Minus $765 back down one more time, back down to one of the biggest losses that I've had in these last 2 weeks of trading. let's continue because I don't stop here. I definitely do not stop here. Why? Because I'm on tilt, because I don't know. I don't know why I'm taking all these trades. Again, good example of what not to do. So don't do this. But at least I hope you're enjoying this trading session where I am not enjoying myself. But let's take a look what I do next. So now I take another sell. Okay, so price failed to go up is what I'm thinking, and now it's coming down aggressively. Let's take a sell. Let's take a sell. Let's take a buy. Yeah, no, don't take buys and sells and buys and sells. Again, I have no clear signal to take this trade. I wasn't looking at the other chart. Again, I was having some technical difficulties again on this day with it. It stalled. I couldn't use it. So I was focusing all my attention on this chart, following the candles, following the direction. Just not good trading at all. Not good trading at all. You see price went against me immediately as I got in. And guess what? Yes, I bought the bottom and it went right back up, right? Another triple bottom here, and it just went back up against me. But again, price was being choppy at this point. It hadn't found a direction quite yet. And so now I'm just waiting to see what happens here. Do I cut my loss here with one contract, or do I try to average in to try to get my stop loss placement a little closer? And when it comes back down, which I'm thinking, then I can profit from that. What do you think I'm going to do? Well, if you said average in, that's exactly what I did, right? Something that I shouldn't do, something that nobody should be doing unless you have some sort of plan, right? Unless you have a plan or you're long-term investing, then that would make sense, right? Because you have long-term and you're going to hold this stock or whatever it is for a long period of time. With futures, I don't really recommend that. This is not a good idea what I'm about to do, so don't do this. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just me showing you my trades for the day, what I did, why I did them, and I hope that you take lessons from this as to what real trading looks like, because this is what real trading looks like. You go through these emotions as things are happening and you just react to them, right? So instead of me being proactive and sort of planning my trade out, I was being reactive here. So you'll see me start to average in here. Now I'm with minus two sells on here, and I start to average in as price starts to come back down. So you'll start to see that here shortly. And you see me, I moved my stop loss here as well to try to reduce my risk. It was about $900 risk at the very top. Don't need that, don't want that. I want to make sure I stay within the $500 range. And I always want to keep that in my head. I want to be mindful of that. Here we go. Let's go ahead and fast forward just a bit. So price is going against me right now. So it's really close to taking me out. Now I'm thinking here, okay, the only thing I'm thinking is this is going to be a sell. This is going to be a sell. This is going to be a sell. And I'm not thinking about what if it goes up? What if it goes higher? Right? I'm not thinking that. I'm only thinking, oh, this has to work. This is going to work. This has to work, right? Because price aggressively pushed down. Now it is at a high volume node area. Now it should push against that and go down further. That was my logic in my head at this point. Again, not using any other tools other than this chart to find my directional bias. And so you see me average in there because price starts to aggressively push down. I have some things going against me, which is the EMAs, the VWAP. So those are all indicating it's starting to curl back up. I am not paying attention to those. I just adding as I see price coming down aggressively, reacting to the price movements rather than paying attention to the whole picture. It's coming there. Now I'm sort of closing the gap of how wide I'm trying to get profit from, because that's sometimes price doesn't go that far. And now I'm starting to see there that it's starting to come against me. So I'm getting ready to start averaging out of my trade if it starts to get closer to my stop. I don't want it to hit my full stop loss here. You'll see this shortly here. I start to remove as price gets closer.
Order filled.
Yep, start to remove right there. Take it off, left with one contract left, just in case it comes back down in my favor. But what do you think happens here? Yes, it's going to stop me out. It's going to stop me out for a loss. This right here was my last trade, right? So now you see it all transpired from the beginning of the day, right? This revenge trading session was started by a trade that was not in my plan. So how do I avoid this in the future? Simple, very, very simple. Take trades that are in your plan, right? If I had taken a trade that was in my plan, I wouldn't have reacted this way. I would have accepted the loss because that was the loss of that specific play, and that's okay. But in this case, not in my playbook, just took the trade to take it. And now I'm suffering the consequences, a loss of $1,185 for the week, which is essentially what I was making up for the previous week, right? It took me an entire week and it took me one day to blow that all up, right? So I hope you've learned something from this and hopefully you don't repeat my mistakes. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next one.